All right, here we go. Episode 62 of The Real with Mel Highsmith. Sure, now a lot of you have started receiving your stimulus checks. God, you gotta love that song. This old truck theme song for The Real. But really, when you think about it all, I'm sure everybody's received some of their stimulus checks right now. I've been here to come across from a lot of people saying they got their $600. So it's been a rough on a lot of individuals in this world to get $2.14 for every day of the living nightmare that everybody has been through since the last stimulus, which, by the way, gave everybody about $5 for every day to that point. So we can just only hope our breath that anything else is going to change, but I really don't think it will. But today we're going to talk a little bit. I got to ask yourself a question to all my friends out there, and I'm even asking to myself right now. What if it was not an election year and Donald Trump was not the president of the United States? Would the pandemic be promoted worse than what it is? Seriously, ask yourself that question. I believe the answer would scare the hell out of all of us if we actually pondered and asked that question to ourselves. You have to think about it. You know, when you think about this pandemic and everything we went through, one of my good friends, I talked to him today, and he said that he was sick with COVID pretty bad. He sounded pretty horrible on the phone. So, my heart goes out to him and his family. I'm not going to name him out of respect. I respect him a great deal. He's one of my best friends. Everybody has been through so much here in 2020. It's always hard to ponder our future with uncertainty, but in a world of COVID-19, to which I have to acknowledge my deepest sympathies to all who have been affected and paid the ultimate price for a pandemic that did not have to happen. So many people from around the world and right here in America have lost all they have, all the while the puppet masters pulling the strings to everything that's going down this political season. Have never once missed a meal, never once missed a payday, never once went to sleep wondering what was going to happen to their children. Just sad and truly upsetting to see what's going on in today's political landscape. It blows my mind. All the time when anybody ever comes at me and says, Mel, you ever look in a political office? And I'm going to say now, no, not at all. I'm not one person that's going to sell my soul out for what most people do for the pennies on the dollar that they steal from other human beings here in America. You know, I don't believe this nightmare called the election of 2020 is far from over. I believe that a lot more things are about to go down, so you need to really prepare yourself. Because once again, the politicians that everybody's crying for and wanting to protect, they're not going to be worrying about their light bill. They're not going to be worrying about paying their rent. They're not going to be worrying about feeding their children. They're not going to have any worries. They are paid regardless of the situation. That's really got to hit you really hard, deep inside right here, to know that the people up there on the TV that you're watching, on your Fox News, your CNN, anything else, whatever you're watching, are looking at you and telling you you need to sacrifice some more, that you have not been through enough, that we're all in this together. As soon as they leave there, they leave that studio and they get into their Cadillacs and go fly in their private jets or their government provided aircraft. So just keep watching those shows and let them keep spilling that spew into your mind that they're sacrificing with you, because you better believe the American people are going through a living nightmare, a hell here on earth, and the politicians are sleeping well in their warm beds at night. So I'm about to play a clip real quick. It's from One American News Network on Trump's accomplishments and ending this horrible nightmare pandemic, COVID-19, of the 2020 elections as fast as possible. Here it is. Check it out.
President Trump closes the year with a message underlining American achievements in the battle against the coronavirus pandemic. One America's Hans Hubbard has that report.
As 2020 ends and a new year begins, President Trump issues a message of hope to the American people, highlighting the victories of the past year under his administration and the promise of what's to come. This all came during his address to the nation on Thursday. The president, while recognizing the hurdles Americans have had to overcome over the last year, underlined what has been accomplished under his watch. Among these achievements was the unprecedented speed of the federal government's response to the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic, which under normal circumstances could well have been expected to extend for years, yet is now on the tail end, according to the president, thanks to his administration's efforts.
Over and over again, we were told it would be impossible to deliver a vaccine by the end of the year. All of the experts said, absolutely unthinkable. Trump is exaggerating. It can't happen. And we did it long before the end of the year. They said it would take a medical miracle, and that's exactly what it is. Years from now, they'll be talking about it. They'll be talking about this great, great thing that we did with the vaccines. A truly unprecedented, amazing medical miracle. Normally, developing a vaccine takes up to 10 years. Thanks to Operation Warp Speed, we developed a vaccine in just 9 months.
President Trump also remarked the benefits of his administration's work against the pandemic will not only be felt in the U.S., but will extend across the world, which will see a swift resolution to the issue, in large part thanks to America's unprecedented push forward in the field of vaccine research and distribution. Thanks to the efforts of American researchers, medical workers, and other officials, the president asserted, the world is well on the way to ending this pandemic and emerging on the other side of its numerous disruptions of daily life.
We've already begun a nationwide vaccination program, and we're sending the vaccine all over the world. The world will benefit, we'll benefit, and everybody's calling to thank me. Our most vulnerable citizens are already receiving the vaccine, and millions of doses are quickly being shipped all across our country. By early next year, the vaccine will be available to every American, and shortly thereafter, it will be delivered worldwide. We will end the pandemic once and for all.
The president rounded off his remarks with a mention of the meaning behind the holiday season, calling on all Americans to use this time to reflect on the benefits afforded to all who form part of American society and to remain steadfast in their commitment to the nation's founding values.
In this season of joy, Americans have so much to be grateful for. We're all blessed to live in the greatest country ever to exist on the face of the earth, and we have made it greater than ever before. As long as we remain loyal to our nation, devoted to our citizens, and faithful to Almighty God, we know that the best is yet to come. God bless you, and God bless America.
Hans Hubbard, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.
And we're back. You know, you can't say enough that how much President Trump has been through in the last 4 years. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? One man who stood up for his people, boy, has been persecuted just nonstop. Y'all better start getting some haircuts, because if Joe Biden becomes president, you better not have long hair at all. And that's the truth. I keep looking over to Christina over on the side here. She's just looking at me. She goes, oh, God, there he goes, talking about Joe Biden smelling hair again. You know, let's talk about something that in my home state of Texas, our Attorney General, Paxton, and he had filed a suit against the unconstitutional treatment and power grab by the mayor Steve Adler and his cronies in Austin, Texas, by closing down restaurants, bars, and businesses and restricting their hours of operation. So the Texas Supreme Court, and I love this, because I'm going to be honest with you, I think that Steve Adler is a corrupt horse's ass. Straight up. I believe it at 100%. I'm not trying to be funny. That man should have never became mayor of Austin, Texas. But anyways, the Texas Supreme Court handed a win to Attorney General Ken Paxton and to the restaurants and bars in the city of Austin, Texas, which its other name is known as the live music capital of the world. And in that lawsuit that they won at the Texas Supreme Court, it allowed establishments to remain open into the late evening. The decision came late Friday night after Paxton previously filed legal action at both the county and appellate court levels. He filed against an order issued by the city's mayor ahead of New Year's Eve. Dear Lord, you get, Steve Adler, at Thanksgiving, he was like somewhere in the Bahamas or something like that, shooting his video telling everybody to stay home because of the pandemic. He didn't. So what's he know that we all don't know? So on Thursday, the courts upheld the order, which prompted Paxton to take his fight to the state Supreme Court. The local court, which is a liberal court, ruled against Paxton. So the order stopped dine-in services in restaurants and bars from 10:30 p.m. through 6 a.m. because that's when the COVID-19 attacks the most. So Thursday through Sunday, those are the operating hours that the owners of these establishments make the most money. And by the way, I was just reminded by a very beautiful individual that is the largest labor force in America, the service industry. So both Paxton and Governor Greg Abbott opposed the order, saying it openly challenged an executive order by Abbott that allowed restaurants to remain open. Restaurant officials backed owners who chose to stay open despite the order. They emphasized the actions was not a political statement, but a matter of survival. You better damn believe it's a matter of survival. Everybody's been sitting around here thinking that all the American people, much less just us Texans, that we can take more of this. I myself in my own town, I've watched many businesses go out because of this stuff. And I can't stress it the most. I mean, I can't help but I get emotional over it to know that, you actually have these politicians who are not going to miss a meal. They're going to sleep in a warm bed tonight, and they're telling everybody else to close down. It gets underneath my skin like a boil. Okay, so I can't help it. I'm emotional about it. I've had a lot of friends lose their businesses. So Kelly Erickson, Stratford of the Texas Restaurant Association, question: we can't use all the resources to make sure if and when there are bad actors, we are handling everything appropriately and not punishing everyone else. Well, I think as most people in America, I can say this, just like here in Texas, you don't get sick at Walmart or the big box stores. You just don't. Austin's mayor said around 24 citations would be issued come Monday for the establishments that decide to stay open, except for the one he was at. It's unclear what will happen with the citations in light of the new Supreme Court order. You don't want to give a shout out to the people up the rail bar in Fort Worth, Texas, Chris Poloni. Chris, I haven't talked much about it, but this is a big win, and I know it's in Austin. It's not helping y'all up there, but with the grace of God, something will be done. Everybody just remember, when you go and vote for your local judges, don't vote liberal. Don't vote Democrat, or you're going to get more judges that are doing what they're doing now. Okay, so while the ruling is likely good news to businesses, owners said the damage is already done after losing so much business over New Year's Eve. It's done. Nobody is going out this weekend. Travis Tober, owner of the Nickel City Bar, stated, "We'll stay till 10:30 anyways, but the vibe is done." The vibe. Yeah, it's just crazy. The weekend is gone, and we're going into a very slow January and February season. People don't have a reason to go out anymore. I can promise you this. The people in China watched the New Year's Eve ball drop of New York. A lot of people don't know that. They had massive, huge parties in China, in their cities. So, but while the Americans sit at home. You know, the Texas Restaurant Association previously thanked Paxton and Abbott for defending Austin's Texas restaurants. They said closing indoor dining would not prevent holiday celebrations. Instead, move them from regulated businesses to unregulated spaces during this critical time. Critical time, you know, it's a good thing that Walmart doesn't have a liquor license. They can just open up bars in Walmarts because you don't get sick in Walmart. Putrid company. So I am disappointed by the Texas Supreme Court decision as it limits our ability to slow the spread of COVID-19 in our community. I continue to encourage everyone in Travis County to celebrate and eat safely at home until our overall COVID-19 number decreases. I also would ask everyone to consider supporting local restaurants by ordering food for takeout, as I did with my family last night. You know, I have a question for you, Steve Adler, Mayor of Austin, Texas. I've been through your city, and I see all the homeless. Were they staying home? Steve, were they? Were they staying home? Or were they laying up on those bridges with no places to go? Because you have destroyed that city. Anybody watch the show if you ever get a chance. And you come to Texas, drive through downtown Austin, Texas. Since Steve Adler became the mayor of that town, he has literally destroyed it. You see entire families and rows and legions of zombies just walking around. It is absolutely frightening, scary, and disgusting. It really is. So what was typically a great night for bars and restaurants and a start to a new year was disappointing as all of 2020 has been for bar owners like Travis Tabar, owner of the Nickel City on East 11th Street. He said, "Hey guys, we're going to doing our toast at 9 p.m. If you still like to join us, you just made other plans. They had house parties where nobody was going because of not wearing a mask," said Tober. It's absolutely crazy how they've interrupted everybody's lives just because America got sick of everybody sucking office. It's the truth. The average American doesn't care, you know, but for me as a red-blooded American, and by the way, a shout out to Nathan Dees. I have his shirt on. There it is. That's Reverend Nathan Dees. He will be on here. Let's see. Let me get it right. January 13th. So Austin, Texas's dining restrictions went into effect at 10:30 p.m. New Year's Eve. Shortly after, Governor Greg Abbott, Attorney General Ken Paxton tweeted for businesses to defy the Austin order. Paxton's emergency appeal was denied later on that night. Then just hours before the local bar order was set to go into effect, the Texas Supreme Court blocked the previous order set by the lower court judge. So Tobar told us it doesn't matter what the court decided. No one's going to go anywhere this weekend. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it. I've watched a beautiful, vibrant beyond anything. And it does not mean I'm being insensitive towards anybody else's stuff, but for myself, for Mel Highsmith here on the reel, and also being a musician on the side. I've watched venues in my own hometown go down in flames because of COVID-19. I can only put my hand up in the air and pray to the good Lord above that hopefully something will come good out of this. And something is going to come good. Like, I'm going to play a commercial here from Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry, the home of where you expect our great service. So check this out. Hi, Mel Highsmith here from Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry. Just wanted to remind you that a friend in need is a friend indeed here at Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry. Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry has been servicing Hill Country for the last 25 years. Power amps and power tools. And did I mention jewelry, just like Patsy here.
Thank you, Lakeside Pawn, for always being here when I've needed you.
And so a friend in need is a friend indeed here at Lakeside Pawn. So come on down here where you expect our great service. And we're back. You know, one of the things I like so much about Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry is when you walk through those doors, you get the service. You know, a lot of people know that I work there also. My Facebook handle is Mel Pawn Guy Highsmith. And, you know, one thing I noticed from the very first day when I walked through the door and applied to become a pawnbroker with Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry was just how I was met. It was cool, and it was like, hello, sir, how are you doing? You know, I asked for an application, got the application, I was hired for the job, and I learned from the outstanding staff here at Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry on how to do proper customer service. A lot of people don't understand, and they take to the stream that a business is open for us to make money, and it is. But it's also to take care of your customer because they're the one paying the money that we live off of. So many people forget that. So that's Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry at 2001 North 281, Marble Falls, Texas. 78654-830-693-5626. And if you get a chance, come in and talk to me. I'd love to see you all. Okay, where you need that hard-file loan or just a gift for somebody or that tool to build a shutout out for your wife for that honey-do list. Come on down and talk to the pawn guy. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm seeing here on Facebook under the events section. It is not loaded up at all. People are just starting to book. But you have, going on January 9th, you'll have Charlie Starr of Blackberry Smoke at the Paramount Theater. Let me click on this. A lot of people are going to want to know where the Paramount Theater is. So, Austin, Texas. God, Charlie Starr, you're gutsy for wanting to go. But anyways, that's at 713 Congress Avenue in Austin, Texas. And Charlie Starr of Blackberry Smoke. A lot of you don't know who Blackberry Smoke is. Check out some of their music. They have a song called A Good One coming on, which is pretty cool. It's one of my favorite ones to play. That's Saturday, January 9th, 2021 at 6 p.m. 6 to 9, a 3-hour show. 713 Congress Avenue, Austin, Texas at the Paramount Theater. Then you got Mary Toddy's, January 23rd. I'm not going to go too deep into it because there's just not a whole bunch showing right now, which is at 222 Lee Lane, Round Mountain, Texas, right outside of Marble Falls on the side of 71. And okay, Trey Gilliland music. Young talent that was also on the K-Bay 103.9 FM Homegrown Hour. So that's Saturday, January 23rd at 8:30 p.m. to 11:30. So there you go. That's everything right there. So just remember, in these tough times that we're going through, I can sit here and talk about Donald Trump and what many Americans, the vast majority of Americans, believe is a total 100% fraud election, but I'm not going to do that because people get wore out. What you need to do, if Donald Trump does not win, you got to remember this. The biggest thing that is no longer safe is our children. Hashtag save our children. Okay? You have to be able to have a future. That's why the puppet masters who are in charge, who are trying to take America, they look at us as a buffet. Not only for our money, but also for our children. So remember, hashtag save your children. It's the most important thing. It's always emotional when I talk about that because so many kids are taken as runaways all the time, and that's just not the case. Most children are snatched right off the street, out of their backyards or out of a schoolyard. And where do you think they go? They go into the international slavery markets. It's funny how politicians today sit here and scream about all the racism in America and how anybody who is Caucasian today is 100% responsible for slavery that took place hundreds of years ago. But not once do they care or do they not even worry about the children that are snatched right off our streets and sent in the same slavery market. Think about it. Which narrative is the truth? Hashtag save our children. And with that said, we'll have a little prayer to end the show, episode number 62 of The Real. Dear Lord, please lay your loving arms around your children. Father, we cannot do this alone. So many of us are lost in the darkness, and we cannot open our eyes just to see the flicker of your candle. Dear Lord, hug us. Assure us that the love is coming. And in your name, amen. And as usual in the show, with the solo done by Mel Highsmith of the Highsmiths, this old truck. Okay, now I'm saying here, okay, I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to get on YouTube and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Real with Mel Highsmith. If you always don't agree with me, but at least you can say we're doing it together. Most of the people watch this show know me already. I'm a fair guy, really balanced with my morals and my ethics. So check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. You can check us out on Parler, The Real with Mel Highsmith. Okay, join our group on Facebook, The Real with Mel Highsmith, like our page of the same name, The Real with Mel Highsmith. And you can also check out all your latest stuff at societyradio.com, soon to change to Society Network. So until then, we'll see you next week. This is number 62 of The Real with Mel Highsmith. Absolutely. Let me see what I can do.
I've never done this before.
Ma'am, don't be nervous, ma'am. Do you know the difference between a bank and a pawn shop? Is with a pawn loan, you actually get your down payment back. That's the benefit of the whole system. So don't worry. We have your back here at Lakeside Pawn. How you doing? Mel Highsmith here. The last 25 years, Lakeside Pawn Jewelry has taken care of all the falls in the surrounding hill country. So So whether you need that hard load or you need that special something, a special someone in your life, come on down to 2001 North Highway 281, Marble Falls, Texas, 830-693-5626. And remember, Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry, come to where you expect our great service.